Capricorn, thanks for joining me. This is your horoscope for August 2016. If you want to support me, please subscribe to the channel. It's the best and easiest way to do that. Just hit the subscribe button. Now, let's look at this month for you. You started with a grand trine in water. And what you'll notice is that there's a strong connection between your drive to achieve your hopes and dreams in connection with other people and how you can figure out a way to do that. So you're going to be thinking about the big things when it comes to your work, your ambition, how you can achieve your hopes and dreams. And that's really what's going to occupy your mind on the 1st of August, the beginning of the month here. On the 2nd, the new moon occurs. And that happens at 8:46 in the evening, and that's based on Greenwich Mean Time. And it pulls all of this Leo energy into your chart. So what that means is you're going to ask yourself, how can I become top dog in whatever social position I'm in here? If you work for a company, how can I get promoted? If you're in some sort of club, like a bridge club or something, how can I become the president? If you're part of the Boy Scouts, it's like, how can I get more badges? I don't know. Basically, your sense of ambition is kickstarted, and it will be especially focused on improving when it comes to some sort of social setting where you belong to some group. Okay, so it's about pure ambition, it's about drive, it's about being recognized, it's about wanting to be acclaimed, to enjoy the approval and the acclaim of other people, to make yourself feel better. That's really what's happening here with this new moon in Leo. On the 3rd of August, Mars goes into Sagittarius, and that's in the 12th. So what this is about, it's not that you're suddenly an egomaniac and you need to be recognized by other people. I really think that you have enjoyed and you are enjoying a much greater strength spiritually. You have a much greater sense of yourself. You have a greater awareness that you are diligent, that you are hardworking, that you're really a lot stronger than a lot of your peers, and that you can really continually and consistently work towards what it is you want to achieve. And because of that, you're starting to look at the outside world and the inside world and say, hang on a minute, I'm actually someone who really makes a contribution and who works very hard. Why am I not getting the recognition that I deserve? So I really don't think you're coming at this from like, oh, you know, I'm the best, look at me. I think it's a genuine and realistic realization that you do contribute a lot and that you want to be rewarded for it, or that you want to be recognized for it. And there's nothing wrong with that. On the 3rd, Mars does go into your 12th house in Sagittarius, and it's about, I want to progress, I want to move forward with my life. How can I do that? On the 4th of August, the moon starts to conjunct Venus and Mercury, and that's in your 8th and 9th houses. And what you're really comfortable with at the moment is breaking down the information, so evaluating your life as it is, seeing what makes sense and how you can make the most out of it personally. So I really think you have a very good critical eye on your life at the moment and what you want to change to put yourself in a more prosperous and socially powerful position. You know, this is, I mean, it's important to do this. If you're like, let's say you're an author and you've sold 1 million books or something, and you work in a town, or you live in a town and that town is going bust because there's no industry or nothing's going on, by getting the social recognition you deserve and by having a plaque put on your house, you could help the town by being recognized, by being someone, this person lives here, they've succeeded, come visit, look at the place where all of this great stuff was written, and then it's, you know, taking your rightful place. I really think that's what I'm going to write down for you, Capricorn, taking your rightful place, because that's what this is all about. Not about ego and look at me, but it's like, I am, therefore, let's have that reflected. On the 5th of August, Mars begins to conjunct Saturn, and that's in your 12th house. Now, Saturn is the planet of scrutiny and restriction. It's an outer planet. It moves very slowly. And it's in Sagittarius. So it looks at how am I progressing, how am I moving forward. Mars is the planet of war and desire, what you won't compromise on, what you want to achieve. And in that 12th house of spirituality and spiritual strength, it means that you are rock solid. You are spiritually a soldier. Nothing can take you down. If there are difficult things in your life, tackle them in August, because really you are super, super resilient. If you feel like you're overwhelmed and you can't go on, dig deeper, there's more. There's more. You have the strength you need to overcome pretty much anything. And out of all of the signs of the zodiac, you are the most resilient, the most powerful, and consistently able to get to where you want to go, regardless of the obstacle. Mars and Saturn conjunct each other until the 7th of September. So you will feel this inner sense of, I can rely on myself, I'm strong, I can get through whatever. You'll feel that until the beginning of September, and that's really like a friend working with you and guiding you, allowing you to get through anything that comes your way. On the 6th of August, Venus goes into Virgo in your 9th house, and what this does is it makes you someone who's really able to create meaning and to study very well. Education and learning is heightened for you in August. Anything that you apply yourself to, you're really going to be able to understand very well, to make meaning out of it very well. You're the ideal student here in August. So try and learn something new. You will do very, very well at it. You've got the Moon, Jupiter, the North Node, Mercury, and Venus in that 9th house. So learning and broadening your horizons is something that's going to be massively positive and meaningful to you. And also, of course, travel. Travel is something you're going to absolutely adore this month, and that you'll get so much out of. So even going on something like an educational holiday, going to Petra or Israel, or somewhere that has real meaning in history, you'll get a great sense of, hey, this was meaningful and I learned something by going here from it. On the 7th and 8th of August, the Moon is now in Libra, and it squares Pluto, which is in your 1st house of self. And what's interesting is that Pluto has been in your sign of Capricorn for a long time. But with it being in this 1st house of self, there is an ongoing sense of transformation. The one thing that's constant and consistent is the inner strength, but it takes strength to transform. And you're changing. You're someone who's becoming more knowledgeable, your horizons are broadening, and that's why you're comfortable doing different things, because you're open to having new experiences, and that's why you're becoming a more educated, a more open-minded, a more rounded and complete person. On the 9th of August and the 10th of August, the Moon is now in Scorpio, and it conjuncts Black Moon Lilith, which is in your 11th house. Okay, so this day, be careful, because things that you haven't achieved, any failures or hopes and dreams that haven't come true, may come into your mind's eye and may almost hurt your feelings. They'll appear that strongly. It's not meant to torture you. What it's meant to do is help you to communicate how you want to achieve things in future and how you can do them differently. So refuse to have your feelings hurt by past events, and look at them as learning experiences that you can avoid in future. On the 11th and 12th of August, the Moon now joins Mars and Saturn in your 12th house. So this is really, you feel so comfortable exploring new things. You feel totally strong and at ease. And this strength is also positive in overcoming days like the 9th and 10th, when past failures reappear, because you have to be able to stomach them. I think what happens though, after those 2 days, you really get the sense, hey, I want to explore something new. I don't want to analyze, I don't want to delve in this negativity. I want to learn new things and move forward. So there's a definite turning away from the past and turning towards the future. So expect new experiences and make yourself available to discover new things. That's what's going to make you feel happiest. Your ruler, Saturn, goes direct on the 13th of August. So you, more than anyone else, is going to feel this. When Saturn goes direct, you will notice that there's a lack of anxiety and a lack of fear or sense of limitation or restriction, and you really feel like the world is your oyster and you can do anything. You're going to be a rock in August, and you may even notice that a lot of other people come to you and rely on you and tell you their problems because you are so strong and you have that sense of strength within you without trying. It's just there. On the 14th, Chiron starts to quincunx the Sun. And this is one of those days where you may get an emotional message from one of your peers who comes to you for nurturing, for support, healing. You are in a position where you can reach out and be there for other people. So that's your real strength here, that your friendships are going to do very well because you are so reliable to them on an emotional level. On the 15th of August, Mars begins to square Neptune, and this is one of those long-term, really important aspects as well. Mars is in your 12th and Neptune's in your 3rd. So this square now until the 4th of September means that you're not only spiritually strong and looking at experiencing new things, but your guides, your angels are going to come in and start to communicate with you, and they're going to give you instructions on what actions you should take and what certain things mean and how you can progress in your life and become more educated and more aware of what's going on, what you're doing, and what direction ultimately you're going to take. Because this is a process of gathering information and then making sense of it. And August is very much about getting all of that together so that in the months to come, you can go off in a different direction. So think of this as the prep work. On the 16th, the moon is now in your sign of Capricorn and it squares Uranus. And again, I think someone may rely on you, and this time it's family matters. Someone in your family may expect you to help. Again, you do have the resilience and the strength to do that, and you may even learn something from it. So be there for someone if they need you. On the 17th of August, the moon is in Aquarius in your 2nd house. And it squares Black Moon Lilith. Okay, so another disappointment may appear, but this time you're actually more adept at dealing with this kind of stuff, and it presents you with an opportunity to make money, to really change your career so that you can become the successful person who has social acclaim and who's recognized for success, and it comes out of a disappointment. So something that didn't work in the past reappears. Look at it, revisit it, have the strength to say, okay, even though this didn't work out, I'm not just going to run and cry and flee. Look at it, see what opportunities lie within it, and that's what you can mold and use career-wise to really become successful. So all of the research now starts to come together, and you're already starting to form a plan with it. You see what I mean? On the 18th of August, the full moon occurs, and that also happens in your 2nd house of money and belongings. So you will be blessed with an idea that you can put into practice to really transform your working life, and it's being given to you because it transforms your working and financial life, but it also has an impact on the other people in your life who are going to benefit from it. Doesn't mean you have a bunch of leeches who are going to take your lottery winnings from you, but it means that the success you have will put you in a position where you can choose to help other people. On the 19th and 20th of August, the moon joins Neptune and the South Node and Chiron in your 3rd house. And again, it's more intuitive information. So you will get things through which will tell you intuitively how to expand and grow in your working life, in your business. So listen to your dreams around this time of the month, see what your guides have to say, revisit past disappointments that haven't worked out and see how you could do them differently. There's a lot of raw material here for you to work with, and it's all coming together, it's crystallizing into something useful. On the 21st, there's a grand trine in fire. And this is the biggest day when something hits now, okay? This is when you're like, oh my God, I've got it. I want to take action. This is that eureka moment. And especially when it has to do with work, and it's something that you can do independently. You don't need anyone else to do this. On the 22nd, the sun goes into Virgo. That's in your 9th. Again, the ongoing ability to make sense of what you're engaging with, that's even more heightened. If you travel, if you learn, if you revisit past disappointments, you're really a meaning-making machine. You're able to break everything down and get some sort of rhyme and reason to it and use it for your own advantage. That is what your biggest talent is. And then taking your rightful place as a result of that making of meaning through your own intellect. On the 23rd and 24th, the moon is in Taurus. Wow, and this is actually, I haven't spoken about this at all for you this month. This is a time now when love and romance, and especially a physical connection with another human being, is really something that is going to make you feel good. So if it's about love and sex and romance, leave it until the 23rd or 24th, or plan it for the 23rd and 24th. That's when you'll get the most out of it. Very positive. On the 25th, there's a grand cross in your chart. And on this day, it's important to keep things ordered, organized, and not to let yourself become overwhelmed with information and with ideas that you can use. Because I think it'll be coming at you every which way by your what you're learning, other people in your life, colleagues, romantic partners, your guides, your angels, what you're communicating with internally. I think it's all going to become a bit much. So just the best way on this day to have the best kind of time is to go out into the world, to look at something you enjoy, to do a little bit of sightseeing, or to go somewhere where you feel at peace, and not try and solve all the world's problems on this day, because you'll stumble over yourself. There's so much going on. On the 26th and 27th, the Sun starts to conjunct the North Node, which is also in Virgo in your 9th. So if you travel around this time, the 26th and 27th, think about where you want to go and just open it up to the universe. Just say, where should I go? Where should I go today? It can be near your house or it can be somewhere else. You're very likely to discover some sort of past life connection. So open yourself up to that. You see, information is coming you from all different angles, and the point of it is it's going to give you the structure to bridge the gap to where you are now to where you're supposed to be and where you can be. On the 28th, the moon begins to square Uranus. And this is another great day for romance and to nurture someone else and to be nurtured. So for the Capricorns who are single especially, this is a good month because it's about finding a new connection and starting to make meaning and understand what it could be in future. And if it's going to be something serious or not, you'll be very clear on that. On the 29th, the moon is now in Leo and it squares your rising sign in Scorpio. And this is the first inkling, this is the first wave of possible days where other people can start to recognize that you're not in the position you ought to be and that things start to change for you. Okay, so that's going to be, it's like in the summer, you have your first harvest in July, and then you have another harvest in August and September until everything's come in. And you're in this process of acquiring new information and realizing it, and this is the first harvest. This is the first milestone in terms of you can enjoy social acclaim and success now. On the 30th, Venus goes into Libra in your 10th. So things start to alter a little bit now, and it's not so much about taking information in. I think you're going to focus more around being with other people and not asking so many deep questions, and it's much more about going back to the surface of things and getting on with life again. So yes, there is still that part of really making sense of things, but it starts to gradually alter now. Okay, so think of August as a research month. The 31st, on the 30th as well, Mercury also goes retrograde, and that puts an end to all of this information stuff. Mercury retrograde makes communication more difficult. It stays in retrograde until the 22nd of September. So really get the bulk of the info that you want to receive in August, because it'll be more stifled. And for you, actually, it might be a welcome break, because I think you've had enough of it by now. It won't be so much about taking things in. It's more about actually getting on with stuff again. On the 31st of August, the moon moves into Virgo because it's getting ready now for the new moon, which happens on the 1st of September, and the solar eclipse. And that's the end to all of this energy that you'll experience during this month about taking things in the outside world, making sense of them and applying them to yourself so that you can be more successful. So on that 1st of September day, just kind of take a moment and say, okay, what have I learned in this month, and how can I put these things into place to enjoy a better, more stable life that is more aligned with who I really am. It's really coming out of your shell a little bit and stepping into what's rightfully yours. So I hope that's given you some ideas to work with for the month. If you have any questions on finance or soul purpose or life purpose or love life, that you'd want me to look at specifically for your chart based on your place of birth, date of birth and time of birth, then please get in touch with me via my website and order a reading on that page. It's gregoryscott.com. Just click on the readings tab and you can order the reading there. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, and I'll speak to you next month.